Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be making an armature using a fall wreath and some artificial flower stems that I have laying around because I refuse to throw anything away. So to attach the stems to the wreath, I'm going to wire up. Nope, I'm going to tape up some wire, not wire up some tape. I'm using a brown so it kind of blends in with the wreath itself and the stems. And then this is, I want to say, like a 24 gauge wire using brown wax floral tape over it. And I'm just going to cut them in half once I have a couple of them built up because I've got 3 stems that I will be wiring on there. But I also need a 4th piece of wire to put the stems together. So armatures are basically a form that you can weave flowers through. So this one's a little bit unique because you're going to carry it kind of like a scepter style. It takes on the shape more like a regular bouquet does. So it's kind of unique in that way, but it's going to be hollow in the center. So it's kind of a dramatic effect. This would be beautiful for an outdoor wedding in like a field during like September, October, or fall time. And I kind of radiated to this wreath because of its light colored berries and the texture that it has. It has a beautiful movement too, but it seemed more wedding like than the other fall wreaths, because a lot of the wreaths go really into fall with the oranges and the burgundies and the copper colors. But I like the airy, light colored, and the light feel of this wreath itself. So I'm going to hit up these 3 stems, putting them evenly around the circle here. And you could also add some hot glue, but I would not advise using hot glue alone. This is kind of an important piece to the wreath, and you really want to make sure that's secure, because if one of those give way, then the whole thing kind of falls apart. So if you want to pay attention to your mechanics on any part of this assignment here, it's to make sure that the stems stay securely to the wreath. So you can use these stems are kind of short, so if you can use something a little bit longer, it'll give you a bit more of a handle to hang on to, and you'll see once I connect the 3 stems there. But you can also use birch branches. You see those a lot during the fall time. You could use forsythia, pussy willow, apple blossom branches, any type of branch on there actually. Even willow itself too is really pretty, and you can work some of the loose tendrils into the wreath. So there's many different ways you can jazz this up or give it your own personal touch. So I'm connecting all 3 of the stems here. I'm going to use my last wire to hold them together. But as you can see, the handle itself, where you're going to be hanging on to, could be a bit longer. This one's relatively short, but you can still carry it a little bit more like a scepter style, or you can carry it in front of you, but it just has a really different feel to it. So if you kind of wanted to do a impact without using a lot of flowers, this is a great way to do it. So I'm just kind of, sorry, my dog's barking. I'm just kind of working the berries around the wreath and trying to give it a little bit of realistic bend to it. So it looks more like a fresh berry branch was just draped around the wreath itself. Just giving a little bit of life to it by bending some of the leaves and working them around. And then from here, I'm going to glue in my flowers. And I had a variety of different flowers and colors that I was going to work into it, but ultimately I just really love the texture of this and the light airy feel of it. So I'm just going to use some golden small lilies and then some kind of butter color hydrangeas. separate all my hydrangea blossoms there so I can stick to that kind of small flower texture that the lilies and the berries make there. And I'm going to work them all the way around. If you wanted more of a tighter ring, you can keep the flowers more towards the inner circle. Or if you wanted something bigger, you can keep them on the outer circle. I love the way the size that it is right now, so I'm just going to kind of work both sides, trying to keep it exactly as it is, basically. And with this one, I didn't do this, but you can add some ribbon to it and kind of work the ribbon throughout the wreath itself, or even if you wanted like a touch of gold, you could take some fine jewelry wire and work it around the wreath too, just kind of going in circles, weaving it in and out of the berries. And that give it like a little touch of gold and sparkle to it. Um, or you can even take some more branches and work them around, or greenery, however you want it to look. It's going to be your touches that you add to it that makes it so special. So um, you can always add the larger flowers too if you wanted more of a focal point. In which case, you just kind of want to signify where the focal point's going to be, and build from there. Or you can evenly disperse like the larger flowers around, like a regular wreath that you see hanging on a door, just kind of evenly space them throughout. And this can also be done with fresh flowers too, in which case you could take the armature itself or the wreath itself and then just run the fresh flowers through the top, and let the branches fall below with the artificial branches there, and then just gather them in a bit of a handle. And then that way you can keep the bouquet in water overnight, so you could do it the day before if you needed to. I am covering up my wire a bit, so I have a little bit more of a handle on there. You could also add ribbon to that, or in this case, it'd be really cool with some burlap or raffia along the bottom. But it's just kind of a fun, different take on a bridesmaid's bouquet, um, doing an armature with artificial flowers. And there we go. Thank you so much for tuning in.